I'd say that I used to be a good student in high school. I used to get really good grades around A minus and A side. And then as soon as university hit, it all went downhill. Now, I was expecting this. It wasn't something new. I knew that when you go into university, your grades do get substantially lower, but I didn't know that I would be at this much of a rate. I always thought that there was something wrong with me. I would always go back to how I used to do things, how I used to study, how I used to think, and I would try to mimic that again and again and again until I found out that I can't do that anymore because it wasn't working. I would literally sit down and plan my entire week. My entire week would look colorful on a calendar. It would look something like this. I didn't live according to it. I lived according to it for like 2 days and then I just stopped because that's not how it works for me. It's never how it has worked for me. I have always just been very focused, but when I need to be and when I feel like I want to be. It's never been forced. And I felt like going into university, especially second year, where I was trying all these new techniques, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, and trying to implement them and integrate them into my life, but they just weren't working to the best of their abilities. It was just not worth it. It was a waste of time, I would say. Okay, probably not a waste of time. I feel like even though I was trying all these techniques and they weren't working, it was still worth learning how to do these things because I think it helped me grow into a better person. I'm going to tell you what exactly I needed to know, and I wish someone had told me this sooner and not during my third year, because this is something that you can't solve yourself. You need to talk to other people. I think that I have ADHD, so I do have a hard time focusing, starting tasks. I procrastinate a lot, and I've tried, I kind of knew all of these things, but I didn't want to accept it because I thought that, why me? You know, like, why do I have to deal with all of these learning disabilities? I didn't accept it for the longest time. I had a feeling around the summer of second year that I was having some sort of a learning disability, but I didn't want to accept it at all. Coming into my third year of university, I did a course for advertising. I would participate in that class a lot. I wouldn't take any notes or anything, but I would just answer all of her questions, give a lot of examples, reflect on my thinking, ask her questions afterwards, and just communicate a lot in that sense. And then after class was done, I would just forget everything. Unless if someone told me like, oh, do you remember what happened like this time during class? And I would kind of remember, or like put pictures and words together to kind of make a meaning of what was happening. So when it came time for my midterm, where I had to really write down all of the things that I had learned and connect it all together and answer a bunch of questions, my midterm was
a disaster.
It wasn't the best work that I could do. And what's sad is that I didn't even question my mark because I was just so used to it at that point. But my teacher, she emailed me and she's like, well, I just don't understand. Like, there is no connection between your class performance and your test performance. Like, what is going on? Like, why can't you perform well on your test? She said that in like the most kind and like concerned way possible. I tried to tell her that my brain doesn't work how she wants it to work during tests. She said that I was circling a wagon, as in I had my point there, like in the middle, but I never really said my point. I was just like circling around it and giving examples, which didn't really directly connect to the point, but the point was there, you know, like it was very evident that I knew what I was saying. That entire week, I took some time to reflect. I wanted to know why I was learning the way that I was, or what influenced my learning techniques, or how it was that I learned. And it all comes down to the point that I do have a different way of learning. And that's the same with all of you. You don't lack skills or knowledge, you just lack self-awareness. You need to be aware of who you are, how you learn, what accessibility services that you need. And I'm going to be honest, Accessibility services aren't only for people with registered accessibility. It is for people who genuinely feel like they can't do that well without these resources. And the goal in the end should be to do well, because you're paying all these institutions. You need to get your penny's worth. You need to do good. Contacting these services that your institution offers for free, whether it be counseling or these accessibility services, need to use it to the full advantage. You need to realize that if you don't use it now, then there's not going to be any more use in the future, and you're just going to regret not getting that free counseling or free accessibility service that you need. And you're just not going to be that great in your tests. You will not perform that well, and it will just go downhill from there. So I would recommend that you do all these things. Contact your professor and email them. Be like, I'm going through this. Like, can you help me get a few contacts in that I can reach out to, can help me? Or if not that, then like your school's like services, health and counseling service, just give them a call, book a counseling meeting. I kid you not, it will help you so much, like how it has helped me. And this is the one thing that they don't look at. How do you learn? What needs do you have? Not everything is going to be solved because of time management, or when you make pretty notes and highlight everything, or all of those like active learning. Like, I understand the point of active learning, but it doesn't work in the context where you need certain services because of the way that you learn. Active learning is a tool, but these services are more than just a tool, more of like a push toward utilizing your best intellectual powers. Now, I tried to make this video as informative as I could make it. I just wanted to come on here to say this because there's just so many people who are not even aware about this, and they waste their potential just looking at YouTube videos that don't really help them, because writing colorful notes or using cue cards isn't it. It's not it. There's more to it. There's more to your learning journey than aesthetics or all of those other scientifically proven study techniques. You need more than that sometimes, and this is your push and your sign to go get that thing that will help you.